Want to know the difference between someone making $50,000 who stays broke and someone making $50,000 who becomes a millionaire? It's these 5 mistakes. And here's the thing. You're probably making at least 3 of them right now. This isn't about earning more money. It's about not being stupid with the money you already have. Rich people aren't smarter than you. They didn't go to better schools or have rich parents. Well, most of them didn't. They just made different choices. And today, I'm showing you exactly which choices separate people who build wealth from people who stay stuck. Let's start. Mistake number 1. Spending money you haven't earned yet. This is the biggest one. Most people think rich people just make more money so they spend more. Wrong. Rich people make the same money as you, but they spend less. Let me show you how this actually works. Person A makes $50,000 a year. Every time they get paid, they spend $48,000 and save $2,000. Person B makes $50,000 a year. They get a promotion, start making $55,000, and suddenly they're spending $54,000. Same income increase, completely different outcome. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's a wealth killer. Research from the U.S. Federal Reserve shows that 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, even those making 6 figures. Why? Because they spend whatever they earn. Rich people break this cycle by making a decision. They don't increase spending when income increases. Here's what rich people actually do. When they get a raise or bonus, they spend 10 to 20% of it and invest or save the rest. That's it. Simple decision, massive wealth difference over time. If you're currently spending 90% of your income, stop. Today. Set a spending cap. Make it a rule. Your income can go up 50%, but your spending stays the same. That extra money? That becomes your wealth builder. Mistake number 2. Treating debt like it's normal. Most people think debt is just part of life. You get a car loan, a mortgage, credit card debt. It's expected. Rich people think about debt completely differently. They see it as an emergency, not a feature. Here's the research. The average American household carries $145,000 in debt. The average millionaire? Under $10,000, and most of that is their mortgage. That's a massive difference. Let me give you a real scenario. Person A makes $60,000 a year. They have $25,000 in car debt, $15,000 in credit card debt, and a mortgage. Their monthly debt payments are $1,200. Person B makes $60,000 a year. They have 0 consumer debt and a smaller mortgage. Their monthly debt payments are $400. Same income. Person A is spending an extra $800 a month just servicing debt. Over a year, that's $9,600 they could have invested. Over 10 years, over $96,000 that they'll never see. Person B is building wealth. Person A is trapped on a treadmill. Rich people make a conscious decision. They don't borrow money for things that go down in value. Car loses value immediately. Your house? Maybe it goes up, maybe it doesn't. But they're ruthless about consumer debt. They see it as stealing from their future self. What should you do? If you have credit card debt, make it your enemy. Stop using credit cards for consumption. If you have a car loan, drive that car until it dies. Then buy the next one with cash. One decision at a time, you break the debt cycle. Mistake number 3. Not understanding the true cost of small purchases. This one surprises people. Rich people are obsessed with small purchases. Not because they're cheap, but because they understand something you probably don't. Small purchases compound. You buy a $5 coffee every weekday. That's $25 a week, $100 a month, $1,200 a year. Over 30 years, that's $36,000. But here's where it gets brutal. If you invested that $1,200 a year instead, with just 7% annual returns, you'd have over $200,000 after 30 years. Warren Buffett still drives a used Honda. He's worth $130 billion, but he sees a new $100,000 car as a wealth destroyer, not a status symbol. Why? Because he understands the true cost. But here's what rich people don't do. They don't obsess over $5 coffees if they make $500,000 a year. The percentage matters more than the amount. A $5 coffee to someone making $30,000 a year is different than a $5 coffee to someone making $300,000 a year. Rich people understand opportunity cost based on their income level. So here's what you actually do. Track your small purchases for 1 month. Everything under $20. Write it down. At the end of the month, look at the total. If it's more than 5% of your monthly income, you have a problem. If it's under 5%, you're probably fine. The goal isn't to be cheap. The goal is to be intentional. Rich people spend money on things that matter to them. They just don't accidentally spend thousands a year on things they don't even notice. Mistake number 4. Confusing income with wealth. This is huge, and most people get it completely wrong. You can make $200,000 a year and be broke. You can make $50,000 a year and be building serious wealth. Income and wealth are not the same thing. Wealth is what's left after you pay your bills. It's your net worth growing over time. Income is just money coming in. Most people focus on income because it feels immediate. I need to make more money. But rich people focus on the gap between income and spending because that gap is where wealth is built. Here's a real example from research by Thomas Stanley, who studied millionaires for decades. The average millionaire in America makes around $150,000 a year, but they spent decades making maybe $50,000 to $80,000. How did they become millionaires? They saved and invested the gap between what they earned and what they spent. Meanwhile, someone making $150,000 a year right now could stay broke forever if they spend $150,000 a year. The income is the same. The wealth trajectory is completely different. Rich people think about this equation all the time. Wealth equals income, spending, invested over time. They obsess over the middle part, spending, not income, because spending is the only variable they fully control. You can't control your employer's decision to pay you more, but you can control how much you spend. That's your wealth lever. That's where rich people focus their mental energy. If you make $60,000 a year and spend $50,000, you're building wealth. If you make $120,000 a year and spend $115,000, you're staying broke. The second person makes double, but they're trapped. The first person is free. Mistake number 5. Not having a long-term plan. This is the final one, and it's maybe the most important. Most people don't have a plan. They earn money, they spend money, they wonder why they're not rich. Rich people have a plan, and they stick to it for decades. Here's what the research shows. Millionaires think in years and decades, not months. They make a decision in their 20s about how much they'll save every year, and they follow it for 40 years. By the time they're 60, they're millionaires not because they earned more than anyone else, but because they were consistent. The magic of compound interest requires time. If you start investing $300 a month at age 25, with 7% returns, you'll have over $1 million by age 65. If you wait until 35, you'll have about $400,000. If you wait until 45, you'll have about $150,000. Same investment amount, completely different outcome because of time. But here's the thing, most people don't have a plan. They don't know how much they'll save. They don't know where it's going. They don't know what they're building toward. Rich people know all of this. They know their net worth target. They know their savings rate. They know their investment strategy. What should you do? Make a plan. Not a complicated plan. A simple one. Write it down. I make $X. I will spend $Y. I will save and invest $Z. Then follow it. For years. Don't change it because the market goes down. Don't change it because you got a raise and want to spend more. Stick to the plan. Most people will never do this. That's why most people stay broke. It's not complicated. It's not mysterious. It's just boring discipline applied for decades. The truth about wealth. So here's what separates rich people from everyone else. It's not genes, it's not luck, it's not even intelligence. It's 5 decisions. 1. They don't spend money they haven't earned. 2. They treat debt like an enemy. 3. They understand the true cost of small purchases. 4. They focus on the gap between income and spending, not just income. 5. They make a plan and stick to it. That's it. Those 5 decisions, applied consistently, will make you wealthy. Not rich overnight, but wealthy over time. And wealthy is better than broke, no matter how much money you're making. The crazy part? You can start today. Right now. Pick one. Just one. If you're spending everything you earn, cut your spending by 10%. If you have credit card debt, make a plan to kill it in the next 2 years. If you're buying a $5 coffee every day, cut it to 2 days a week. If you don't have a savings plan, write one down tonight. One decision. One change. That's how this starts. That's how wealthy people start. Not with a windfall. Not with a promotion. With a decision. Make yours today.